Now, my name is ODUOR Odete, Philip. I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I practice in the firm of J&N Advocates as a partner, and I'm here in my capacity as a coach. The Academy has been quite an eye-opening event. We have had the opportunity to interact with young individuals who aspire to bring out the leadership in them. And to me, the most inspiring moment was when the young participants were able to come out of their shells and crack open and confirm to themselves that they have the capacity and the ability to become leaders in this society. And the understanding that leadership is not necessarily a title, but an attitude to me, that was quite profound. Wow. The Academy has been quite a revelation because when you come as a coach, you think you know everything, but you end up learning from the people you're coaching. And I'd say that the most important lesson that I have picked as a coach in this academy is the fact that you have to, first of all, take charge of yourself. Lead yourself before you can actually lead others. To put it in context, you can only draw the dots backwards. So you have to take control of your past, whether good or bad, and allow yourself to get out of the situation and then push yourself forward before you can assume leadership in society, at work, or in family, whatever setup you have as an opportunity for leadership. My key takeaway, I'll repeat what I said previously. I think leadership begins with self. You have to lead yourself first. It is critical, it is necessary, it is important that you lead yourself first. You cannot lead others until and unless you lead yourself. So the most important point and takeaway for me is that leadership begins with self. And as a human being, you have all these challenges that are facing you. It is important that you acknowledge them, understand them, take control of them, lead yourself out of your situation, because no situation is permanent, and then lead others out of their situations. You can only help someone out of a bad situation after you've helped yourself. So leadership begins with you, the individual. Wow, it's in a sense, it helps you understand that other than the concepts of leadership that have been propagated through and through, leadership is fundamentally an individual affair before it even becomes anything else. So as an individual, you have to acknowledge that first. It begins with acknowledging that you have to lead yourself and then lead others. So it makes you feel that you have actually a responsibility towards yourself as a leader in society. So before assuming any leadership position, you have to begin with yourself. It gives you a sense of responsibility. You have to be responsible for yourself before you are responsible for others. And that overwhelming sense of responsibility is very, very critical, because until you're responsible for yourself, you can never be responsible for others. So that feeling of responsibility is overwhelming. It is important, it is necessary, and it is crucial for leadership. No one in this society will pretend or present himself or herself as a leader if they haven't led themselves. And leadership has all these connotations of positive values, and those positive values are what leads you to a platform where you can now be an example to others. So the bottom line is that if you're able to lead yourself, if you're able to get yourself out of a situation, then you necessarily don't even need a title. You actually become an example unto others. And that in itself is leadership. Wow, I think the first few days of the academy were quite intense. They involved cracking open out of difficult past situations, and those situations, in my opinion, are things that can be construed as embarrassing, can be construed as unfortunate, and no one in society wants to associate themselves with unfortunate or embarrassing situations. So to me, the most difficult point was that we had to crack through this difficult situation in order for us to get ourselves into the next level. It involved a lot of tense emotional moments. It involved a lot of intense personal and in emotional situations where people shed tears. But I think it was necessary. It was absolutely necessary. If you cannot confront your ugly past, you become a convict. You are convicted, and you will never be able to move forward unless you release yourself or untie yourself from the chains of the past. The chains of the past sometimes can be very heavy, can be a bit brutal, can be painful, and that moment when we were able to untie those chains of the past, it was difficult, it was necessary, but it was also intense. So it was a difficult moment, but was a necessary moment for us. I think it is critical that we dealt with it. So it just like a pill, a bitter pill, which is necessary to get for you to get better. We had to swallow it on the first and second day of the academy, and I am glad to report to you that the patient is getting better by the day. Well, what I would say in summation is that this is a very, very critical event, a critical workshop, necessary for especially the young ones who are taking up leadership. I would want to add that it should not stop with this. We should be able to scale it up. We should be able to reach out to more young individuals. We should be able to follow up, monitor, evaluate the impact of the training, see how far our trainees have gotten, see the impact that they have on society. I will also want to encourage the participants of the workshop to take advantage of the materials that they've been provided with, to go back to their village or society and deploy the use of those materials to try and become coaches themselves and to either their peers or the schools around their society, and to make a contribution. It starts with acknowledging that you have benefited and taking advantage of the benefit that we have conferred upon you to bestow upon others and help them become as good or as great as you. That is the only way they will retain the knowledge within their heads and that they will impact the society. One of the ways through which they will impact society. So my call is to all the participants of the academy to go out and spread the gospel.